Going live.
Hey friends, welcome
Shalom,
here to the
neighbors.
Rabbit Room.
We're live from the
We
Rabbit
are
Room.
live.
In the city of Fort Wayne.
46807.
Beautiful
Yes,
Fort Wayne,
07.
Indiana.
One of the best neighborhoods around. 46807.
Yeah.
So
We're
we're
here for our final live Q&A, at least
Whoa.
at least
well,
as we know it.
Brian and I's final live Q&A.
Oh.
Yeah.
was by, well, no, I'm sorry, I'll still be here, but Brian will be gone next
Yeah, I'm
week.
getting kicked to the curb.
Yep.
Good riddance. Slowing us down.
Thrown outside.
So yeah, it's been nice while I've been here. I've really enjoyed my
All
time
right.
with Mark.
We all have.
Why, yes, that would be a haircut on the Reverend Father Patrick Ake. Praise God.
Yes.
It took 8 weeks, but we got him to do it.
Hey, the hair salons are open, so I figure now it's okay.
What's your opinion on a hair salon versus a barber shop?
What's the difference exactly? I don't know.
Well, I feel like the barbershop tends to be aimed towards a more masculine crowd. And typically
Hair salon, I see.
men are the barbers, and you talk about sports and
Whereas a hair salon, you would have hairdressers, I suppose?
yeah, and I feel like they wash your hair at a salon maybe.
Mm.
I've never really been to a salon. So
Well, you should try it out sometime. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go. Try it out.
Yeah.
no, Brian, you can't go.
He can, in fact, go. And in fact, obedience compels him to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ryan, so where are you going exactly?
I'll be at Little Flower in South Bend.
Oh.
The associate vocation director, Father Terry Coonan.
Oh.
The associate to the vocation director.
The assistant to the vocations director.
You're the regional associate to the assistant vocation director.
Okay.
Yeah.
And other titles. Oh, man. We did see Father Jay Horning on the front page of the
Sure
paper
did.
yesterday.
He's been on the paper twice in the past 2 months.
We've only been on the front of paper once.
But we were with Jesus though.
We had the Lord.
Mhm.
That was pretty much pretty awesome.
You've seen the haircut at a barbershop, perhaps?
See, if you would have gone earlier, maybe you
It
would
was-
have been the
he
front
went
page
to,
for the haircut on the barbershop.
He went to Barbers United, which is the chain that I used to go to.
Used to. What happened?
I moved away to Maryland.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah,
that'll
that'll do it.
That'll do it.
That
That'll
will do it.
Yeah.
So we're here.
Yeah, you know what sounds really good right now, Mark?
A Reese's peanut butter cup.
Not only a Reese's peanut butter cup, but a Reese's
Big cup.
big cup.
Big cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must love peanut butter.
Well, you ever had a Reese's big cup?
No.
It makes the world a lot better place.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd say.
Wow.
Yep.
Are you a sponsor now for our shows?
We might.
I don't think there's any paid advertisement for this.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys got any questions about anything theology related?
Oh, yeah.
We're ready.
Candy related?
Just life related.
Life related? How things are going since things have quote unquote reopened?
Mm.
Look at that big cup though. Look at the height on that thing.
It's a
Wow.
big cup.
That is a big cup.
Wow. I'm not sorry for that.
They were not lying.
Especially if the pastor here is watching, this is for you.
Oh, man.
That is a big cup.
That's a tasty big cup of Reese's, huh?
That might actually take me the rest of the time to savor this.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, first question.
Oh, here we go.
For those that are receiving their first communion, will they receive the blood of Christ at that time, or will they have to wait until everyone is allowed to receive? I understand if you receive one, you receive all, but it just doesn't seem right. Not getting both for first communion. That is a good sentiment. It does not seem right, because ideally you would receive both for first communion. But the situation that we find ourselves in is mandating that everyone will probably receive just the host, the consecrated host. So you will receive both. You will not receive both under both species, as it were. But that's just the present situation is dictating that. So the bishop has directed no one to be receiving from the chalice until further notice. Even on the, so, for example, weddings, the missal actually says, like, if no one else, the bride and groom should receive the precious blood on that day. But even for weddings, we don't distribute the precious blood as of right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, man.
Serious question. Do you have to take communication classes for homilies?
Sort of, yeah. They're not communication classes proper. They're homiletics classes.
But undergrad, I had to take communications classes.
Yeah, for the philosophy degree, we had to take communications. But we go through, it's a little different for each seminary, but like at the Mount, they have actual classes called homiletics. Is it 2 semesters or just one?
2 semesters.
It's in Rome, we don't have a homiletics class. We have like it's a week-long workshop in the fall, so it's like 4 hours a day for a week, and then throughout the year we give homilies in front of about 4 or 5 other guys and get feedback on it. So we do about 30 homilies before we get up and give one as a deacon.
And remember, there also is a public speaking class, right?
That's right. Yep. So I had that last year. Yep.
Yeah.
Good question.
That is a good question. Will online morning masses continue? I've been a regular at 6:30 a.m. allows me to participate in mass prior to work. I can't say for sure.
We have to ask the pastor for that one.
The pastor will have to answer that for sure, but I think so because we're actually in the process of ordering the equipment right now. We got a grant to allow for some permanent installation of some cameras, so we can live stream everything. And I'm assuming that would continue with the daily masses because there will be a camera in the chapel.
Press a button.
So
that's the hope.
That's the hope. That's the plan, as it were. But as we all know, especially from this situation, plans get easily destroyed.
That's right.
All right, Anne Gray asks, I saw that the diocese announced that the Franciscan brothers are leaving the diocese. What does that mean to the friars that were living at Providence House? So they're not leaving, they're just disbanding. So there were 4 of them left living in Providence House. 2 of them are becoming diocesan seminarians, and then 2 of them are leaving to discern religious life. So yeah, as of today, that's done. Yep.
It's sad, but all things come to an end. And they discerned with Bishop, with the spiritual directors, and they said, "Hey, this is
time for a
working
new
out."
move.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this question. Suggestions for a good first communion gift besides the usual.
Rosary.
Big families, kids get a lot of the same.
Rosaries. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That's like when people give priests rosaries for ordination or something. It's like had to have that to
That's
get
a good
through.
question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I like that a lot.
Who's asking?
Beth Minnick.
Oh.
So
A large pack of Reese's Big Cups.
Oh gosh. I can go for Reese's right now.
I think
You want to go for Reese's right now?
You want to split one? There's 2 of that.
I just had a big cup. It's basically 2.
I think that
Reese's.
Unless they have a peanut allergy. Of course.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Gifts for First Communion. I think that some of the lives of the saints.
That's a really good one.
We have really fallen out of the practice of knowing the lives of the saints. And when I say we, I literally mean myself included. Because I just don't. There's a few saints that I know their lives pretty well. And then most of the saints, I'm just like, oh, that's nice. We pray for them or have them pray for us. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, they make children's books.
Yeah. I know in most Catholic bookstores you can find a children's section or a young adult section with the lives of the saints. Butler's Lives for the Saints is the famous series. But things in that direction. So away from, I would assume, someone will get them a Bible, someone will get them a rosary. Of course, if everyone goes away from that, no one will. Hopefully they'll have one. But yeah, Lives of the Saints.
Also, an interesting one might be Magnificat. So Magnificat, I don't know if you're familiar with the subscription. You get Powerball subscription you want, but it has the daily readings for Mass, the prayers for Mass, all those kinds of things. Also, usually a saint of the day. They also make a version for kids called Magnific Kid, and it has the Sunday readings and things in there for kids, so kids can follow along at Mass. That would be another good idea.
Also statues. So like, I'm not talking the huge statues, but they make miniature statues of various saints, as we've seen with the war between the St. Patrick statue and the St. Andrew statue on our domestic oratory.
It's not a war.
It's a war.
No, Patrick drove out the snake.
Yeah, but like
Who's still
having
here?
having statues around the home is really nice, and especially like in people's rooms, like for the first communicant, having a statue of their namesake or a saint that they're devoted to, I think would be a great. I don't think that the event of First Communion necessarily limits the scope of religious gift.
The other thing I've gotten for folks for First Communion or for baptism gift, but also for First Communion if they don't have it already, is a little holy water font.
Yeah.
To bless themselves each day. I think that's a really good practice to get into.
Yeah. I got bonds when I was for my first communion.
You got what?
Like $20
Oh,
bonds.
yeah.
Mm.
Have you cashed them out yet?
No.
I would wait. I like this question. What is each of your favorite and least favorite philosophers?
Oh.
Oh boy.
Man, that's a great question.
That's a big one.
And it's a very sweeping question.
A lot of philosophers out
I
there.
mean, so all of us are well schooled in the ancients, so Plato, Aristotle, those guys.
Sorry, I just think of Princess Bride whenever someone's like Plato, Aristotle. 'Cause the line is, he's like, "How smart are you, Plato, Aristotle, morons."
Yeah, so that's what we're really familiar with. Of course, Thomas Aquinas,
Oh man.
is probably the best known Catholic philosopher.
Big T.
So those are kind of some of the ones I would venture
Which
a
one's your
liking
favorite
to.
though?
I know. I mean, I'd say Aquinas just because that's, you know,
You're a Thomas, cool.
I wouldn't call myself a Thomist though.
Mark, who's your favorite?
I have several favorites depending on the type of philosophy we're talking about.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites is a personalist phenomenologist from the early 20th century, Dietrich von Hildebrand.
Oh.
Edith Stein.
He was a classmate of Edith Stein, a student of Edmund Husserl, who's the founder of phenomenology. And he was Edith Stein and Dietrich von Hildebrand were some of the first philosophers to kind of set the groundwork for like the theology of the body. So they're some of the first to sort of investigate philosophically the meaning of marriage.
One of the ones that I find interesting, who I don't subscribe to his philosophy though, but I enjoyed reading his stuff, was Soren Kierkegaard.
Kierkegaard is a very angsty. If you like angst, he's angsty.
Yeah.
He's like listening to a 90s rock band.
Well, so it's funny you say that. So I don't know if any of you are 21 Pilots fans, the musical group duo. I actually wrote a paper on how the music of 21 Pilots is fundamentally grounded in the philosophy of Soren Kierkegaard. So, yeah, I do find it fascinating.
One
about
of
you,
my
Father?
least favorite. Oh, yeah, go
My
for your
favorite?
favorite first.
Here we reach probably. I was a big fan of reading about Socrates. Just like stories, just telling them, you know. Like
Yeah.
that's how it ought to be. You just ask questions to find the answers. You know.
Plato, yeah.
Mhm.
Would say it was probably all of the contemporary ones.
yeah.
Because like once you date 18th century, like all the big questions are answered, and there's just like tiny things that don't really matter, but they write like giant tomes about them.
I particularly love Kant's approach.
Ugh.
He never left his hometown. He literally never saw anything but the small city he lived in.
And it showed.
And he claimed to know more about the world than anyone that had ever lived, and engaged in this massive project of criticizing basically the entire scholastic school. It was it's entertaining. At least.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Nietzsche.
Nietzsche, not
He
a
was
great.
fun to read.
He's fun to read until you realize that he actually
He's
believes what
crazy.
he's saying.
Yeah.
Ubermensch.
Who's
I'm not a big fan of William of Ockham. William of Ockham basically ruined everything philosophically.
A.J. Ayer?
Mm.
Also another one that's pretty.
Oh, along the lines of a favorite one, Josef Pieper. He's this sort of mix, this bridge between the phenomenologists and the Thomists in the 20th century. He's got a lot of great sort of reflective work. Yeah, I always find reading him. It's not he's a philosopher, but he most of what he's published is actually musings, and so it's really great to just kind of engage those. All right, let's see. Oh, Father Andrew tweeted about socks for Catholics. Do any of you have a pair? Brian, do any of us have a pair?
I do not have a pair. I have any pair. So I actually was. I was cool before Father Andrew probably knew these socks existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I think I counted them the other day. I have like 10 or 14 pairs, something like that.
I have 0 pairs.
The company is Sacrilegious.
0 pairs.
They're actually based out of Indianapolis. It's a guy that I used to work with down there who started this company. So highly recommend. I think they also sell them at Cathedral Bookstore or Good Shepherd Books and Gifts now. So yeah, get yourself a pair. My favorite pair is probably St. Joseph.
Father Andrew is tuned in and objects
To what?
to that you were originally cool or whatever. So I think it's now time to talk about what's going on the table. We've been avoiding it, but since he's tuned in, let me just zoom in here.
Yep, we got.
Oh, I kind of gotta move it here. This is our shrine to Father Andrew in his absence. He's out to dinner for his birthday, but the leprechaun lives.
There he is, folks, in his glory. In his glory. His
favorite treat, of which he received many for his birthday, was Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yep. And
now he wants to know why there isn't incense burning in front of him. That makes me want to tear it down.
But a lot of people probably don't know that Father Patrick Hake, when he was lowly seminarian Patrick Hake, once had a shrine dedicated to him at Mount St. Mary Seminary.
It's true.
He also has his own feast day, May 6th.
May 6th.
May 6th is Patrick J. Hake Day at Mount St. Mary Seminary. From my experience, the only seminarian living that still has a day, actually any seminarian ever.
Yeah, living.
Let's see how low. Okay.
I mean, how lucky are we?
Yeah, we're honored.
We're all hashtag blessed, you know?
Yeah. Father Andrew, he went in, he was at the chancery, and he found himself in the Good Shepherd Books and Gifts and picked up a few pairs of the
highly
socks.
recommend. They're great socks.
I have to go pick up a book there sometime whenever he comes in, and I can't say that I won't leave without a few.
Especially the reason I really like them is because this is the outfit we wear every day.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that is fun, quote unquote, to put on is your socks. And a lot of times it actually is a good conversation starter.
Yeah.
Because I got, like, for instance, I had some St. Therese socks, and I went to St. Therese on a school visit. Kids absolutely loved that I had St. Therese socks on.
Yeah.
Wow, we've talked about philosophy and socks.
What's stuff here?
These Wednesday nights have been known to bounce around.
Yes.
Whatever people want to hear about, you know?
Yeah.
I saw one. Hang on.
Does Father Andrew have any questions?
Yeah, Father Andrew, would you like to submit a question? Also, are you driving? Or what's going on? How are you tuned in?
Where is
I thought
it?
you were at dinner.
Huh. Well, surely he's not driving. That would be irresponsible.
I'm just wondering in what context he's saying yo. He's clearly listening to us.
Bathroom break?
If I was gone, I wouldn't be tuning in.
Ryan, that's when you're gone. Are you going to tune in?
I will, I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll be under the reign of someone else.
Oh, that's right. New pastor, new rules.
Yep. Can you explain?
The importance or significance of incense.
Yes.
Why, yes, we can. Would you like to go? Or would you like
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of ways we can go about this. From a practical level, incense really became popular with animal sacrifices in the temple. So many animals were sacrificed, and as you can imagine, if you have burning,
It smelled.
bad smell, so the incense helped kind of cover that up. Also, incense was a sign of royalty, so kings a lot of times would burn incense in their castles.
Because it's pure luxury.
Yeah,
Incense is the fact that you would take time to harvest it, like to mix it together to make it smell good. Like that's pure luxury. So it's a royal.
yeah. But on a spiritual level, it's a sign of our prayers rising to heaven, and it's also kind of a small sacrifice. We're burning something, offering something to God. One of the Psalms talks about our prayers rising like incense and our hands lifted like an evening sacrifice. So it's definitely present in the Psalms.
Another way that the church has kind of like adopted this intense symbolism is the container that you put incense in is normal. Well, traditionally it was shaped like a boat, and then it became kind of colloquially known as the boat. The boat is the church. We are the incense, and we're put on the fire of the Holy Spirit to rise to heaven in prayer. So it's a miniature model of what liturgy is. So gathered in the church through the power of the Holy Spirit, we raise our thoughts and prayers to God the Father
I didn't know
through
that.
the mediation of Jesus Christ.
There's a homily there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
there you go.
That's
Good
That's the
question,
importance and significance of incense.
Brittany Orton, great question.
Oh.
I thought it was one from John Hickey.
Oh yeah, it was when are we going to our summer assignments?
What are
Soon
we?
and very soon.
We are going to
our
see
summer
the
assignments.
summer assignment.
I will be leaving either Wednesday or Thursday of next week
Aw.
to go to Most Precious Blood.
Now here's a question for you. The
Where is
Reese's
it?
Big Cup,
You didn't answer.
Little Flower South Bend next Monday.
Next Monday.
The Reese's Big Cup has 200 calories per pack. Is this considered a pack?
I think so.
I think a pack would have to have multiple things in it, right?
A package.
But 2 peanut butter cups have 210 calories.
Mm.
Take the big cup every time.
Healthier.
Next question. Have any of you met Pope Francis?
Mark,
Yes.
have you met
I
Pope
have.
Francis?
I have met Pope Francis.
Ooh.
It was pretty cool.
I have not met him.
Should we say do for last then? I saw him from a distance.
My cousin saw him, got a picture, and put it on a coffee cup for me.
Nice. Yeah, when the bishop came for his ad limina, since I was in Rome, the seminarians get to accompany the bishop when he goes to meet the Holy Father. So we mazed our way through the Apostolic Palace, and then we got to shake the Holy Father's hand, to exchange just a couple.
What'd you say to him?
sentiments. I said, "Thank you very much. Thank you for everything."
What was his handshake like?
It was strong.
Right.
Well, it was confident.
Were you taller than him?
Yes. And then he gave me a rosary,
He gave you a rosary.
and I gave it to my mother.
Oh, Karen.
She's a nice lady. I met her.
And then so we were there with the Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois, the Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin seminarians. And then,
House is bugged.
so then he just greeted us all. It was actually really cool, because he said, when we kind of got to the side, he was like, "I have a problem. They say that there's no vocations, but you're all so young, and you're all here, and there are vocations." It's like, this doesn't make sense. You have to continue to pray. And then he said, "Pray for your bishops, because we're about to meet." And then he walked away.
Pope Francis socks. I do not have
Did they
Pope
make
Francis
Pope
socks.
Francis
They
socks?
did originally.
Oh.
Somebody gave me a pair that I actually gave away to a friend of mine.
Mm.
Good socks away,
But
man.
yeah, they did make them one time. I have seen them.
I want to get St. Dominic socks.
I have some. You've seen those. Yeah, those are white.
Do they have St. Augustine socks?
I have those. St. Augustine. They also have St. Ignatius ones, which I do not have.
I need to get the St. Ignatius one.
The St. Ignatius ones have like flames coming off of them. They're pretty sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Someone commented that he cannot wait for 524, which I'm assuming is in reference to
Mass picking
masses being public again,
Yeah.
and we can't wait either.
Yeah.
That is true.
Wow. Isn't it 5:23 it starts?
I think.
Yeah.
I guess
Besides the
Saturday.
weekend.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 524 is the Sunday Mass.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
It's been a surreal time.
We talk about this coming back to the sacraments a little bit on the podcast, which will go up tomorrow.
That's
Hey,
right. The Inner Room. Find us on
Inner Room.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Any other websites?
It also happens to be on our website. I don't know if you're familiar with it. RebuildMyDomesticChurch.com. That's RebuildMyDomesticChurch.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on
No, not Twitter. Not on Twitter.
YouTube.
Just like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
The YouTube.
YouTube.
Who was your favorite Old Testament king?
Oh wow.
Wow.
Who's answered that?
Erica Stover.
Wow, that's a great question.
Wow.
Brother Patrick.
I'm gonna have to say King Saul.
Oh.
Did you like the fact that he squandered his inheritance by not doing the will of God, or
Tried to kill
not
David?
that.
tried to kill
Not
David
that,
several
not that.
times?
He's just the first one to try. You know, he's
Oh,
trying
okay.
to get out like
He's
hey,
just putting himself out there.
yeah.
Who's your favorite
Pretty
king?
tough to be the first.
I
king.
mean, you can't say no to David.
Oh.
I mean, he had the one thing with Bathsheba, of course,
He
but
killed someone.
But then he wrote Psalm 51, which is one of the most beautiful psalms.
I mean, he was the man after God's own heart, and the covenant that his son would reign on the throne forever, which was fulfilled in Jesus. I'm going to take that one.
Yeah. I like King Josiah.
He's also
King
doing-
Josiah was the best king,
Mm,
besides David, I suppose. King Josiah rediscovered Deuteronomy. Basically, the story is he was like using around in the royal archives and discovered this book. And
was
it
that
the
under
book of-
Sennacherib?
I forget.
Yeah.
It was the book of Deuteronomy with the law, and he like reads it and he says, "We're not doing any of this. We need to do this. God commanded it." And then he reinstated basically all of the practices, and not like this isn't like Pharisee type enforcing law. It was like actually reading. He read it.
Pray,
Yeah,
sacrifice.
it's like conversion of hearts. We need to be doing things that express our internal dispositions. Like the authentic interpretation of the law that God gave, Josiah was the one who kind of brought Israel back to that. And then I think his son just like squandered everything again. And then they were back to
Well, it
exile.
always reminds me of Nehemiah when they come back to the temple and he starts reading the law, and it's literally like the entire day he's just reading.
Yeah.
We think our Easter Vigil's long when the reading goes like, I don't know, 12 minutes.
What about Melchizedek? He's the king of Salem.
King of Salem.
Old Testament
That's
king.
true. You can't.
Great pick. Much better pick than Saul.
Well, I still like Saul.
Interesting. Yeah, Melchizedek is a great pick. He's also
He's the
priest.
first priest king.
Yeah.
David was a priest king.
Did you know you're a priest?
Because the kings would actually have priestly duties every once in a while in the temple.
Hmm.
Did you know you're a priest in the line of Melchizedek?
I didn't know that.
What does that mean?
It means that I'm a priest of Jesus Christ.
Why is Jesus Christ in the line of Melchizedek?
For the book of Hebrews, man, everyone knows this.
Does everyone know this?
Everyone should know this.
All right. Question: what does your daily life in the seminary look like before COVID-19?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, let's see, daily life at seminary, it seems like it's been forever ago.
It was like 8 weeks ago
Yeah.
that you were last there.
Typically, I wake up at 5 a.m., and then we have a holy hour, and then we lock the door. Yeah, and then we have morning prayer at 6:45, mass at 7, then we have breakfast, and then we have 2 or 3 classes, then we have a little free time in the afternoon, and then we have evening prayer at 5 p.m., and then after that we have dinner, and then time to do homework or have meetings or whatever else you need to do. So that's kind of a standard day at seminary.
Yeah. I mean, they're about the same. We do morning prayer and mass at 6:15. Breakfast. Classes normally start about 8:30. Go till about 12:15. Lunch is at 1:15. Goes till 2. Afternoon somewhat free with some meetings every once in a while. Homework. Holy hour 5:45 to 6:45. Evening prayer at 6:45. Dinner at 7.
Matthew Walton, a good man, once suggested Melchizedek as a name for my youngest child. You know, that is a great point, and I think if you have subsequent kids, which you look like a young, strapping man, yeah, you should have more kids, and you should name one of them Melchizedek. We were offering sacrifice. It's the last big cup.
That's a good name, Melchizedek. You know, Baby Mel.
Yeah, baby Mel.
I like Melchizedek is a manly name. Brian's mother asks.
Whoa, there can be many women with the name Man and the last name Eisenbarger.
No, there's one. Since you will both be leaving for your summer assignments, describe in 5 words or less your time spent at St. John's.
Oh,
5 words or less.
Father Andrew, can you leave?
Father Andrew, can you leave? That's 5.
Then he leaves. Oh man. I don't know. That's a hard question.
I would say,
Coronavirus.
I mean, it's been really good.
It's
been really good.
Yeah. What you doing?
All right, we're coming in live. Yeah, a lot of routine, I would say, has been the best part of it. Had a good routine. I don't know.
It's been good.
Food. We've eaten good food.
Eating good food. All these things.
We've prayed.
We've prayed and stuff. Yeah.
We've prayed and stuff.
That should be a podcast. We've prayed and stuff.
Sure.
Speaking of which, if you haven't listened to our podcast, it comes out tomorrow.
Where can I find it?
At rebuildmydomesticchurch.com.
Where?
Rebuildmydomesticchurch.com.
Yeah. So, how was your evening?
Delightful. Very good.
Good.
Why'd you cover up my classmate?
Well, because we just wanted to really focus on
The
you.
attention on you.
No. That's my classmate, Mark Andrzejewski.
Where is he now?
He is in Texas.
Chaos.
He and I
It's a big
were
state.
in grade school from
Oh wow.
1st grade through 8th grade, high school, and college. Then we were roommates after college, and I'm godfather to his son.
We got one for Father Patrick and Father Andrew. What's your favorite sacrament to celebrate, and why?
The Eucharist,
And why?
Jesus.
Oh,
substantially.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild one.
it's pretty good.
I'm going to say confession, to be contrary. And why? Because it's beautiful to be there, like when people are being healed of their sins.
Mm.
Just gonna put that there.
There's a balm in Gilead and in
So-
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Which has more calories, the big cup?
Nope, big cup has less.
See, I'm health conscious.
Oh man. What are you gonna do without Brian and
Weep bitter tears.
I? Wow. It's alright, Jake will be here.
Weep bitter tears. And I told Father Drew, you're just coming back.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I think what we should do when it's nice out
Front
is
porch.
live studio audience.
Like Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers
Yeah.
is filmed with a live studio audience.
You know, after we watched those 2 episodes, they were like in such a crucial like plot point. I want to just go back and watch the first one ever.
Oh, yeah.
Just start at the beginning.
Yeah, we were just like, we didn't want to watch something to laugh, and we turned on Cheers. And it was the episode
Where everybody
Frasier
knows,
shows up.
everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your
Yeah,
name.
Frasier's first episode. Wow.
Yeah.
I think give a shout out to my dad. It's his birthday today.
Oh.
He's now 65, so he's able to sign up for Medicare.
Whoa.
Yeah, also gets free fishing. I don't think you have to file for a fishing license after.
Really?
Really? You hear that,
I think
Dad?
it's 60.
Are you watching right now?
I don't
know. You're watching. Comment something.
Let's see.
Yeah, who's your favorite son?
Yeah, comment your favorite son.
If the question's a little difficult, who's your favorite priest son?
No, who's your favorite son?
Oh man. You're starting like here.
It's been active or a little on the slow side.
We've had some good questions so far.
I heard the one about incense. That was very good.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing I heard about incense was when people wanted to give God a gift, that was the only thing they could get up there.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that was like
rising up.
burning in general, like the idea of the Holocaust.
Right.
That every religion, every pagan religion, the thing you did was burn it because it was the
You
only
could
time
throw
you
the animal up
right.
there.
It was the only time you could see it rise.
Oh.
So your natural inclination would be to burn it so that it ascends.
Yeah, I love incense. I used to burn it in my room when I lived by myself.
Okay, people, give these men some questions.
I mean, we can entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, for instance.
That's what we've been doing for 8 weeks.
Yes.
8 weeks.
You said, for instance.
Yeah, for instance.
What?
Well, there are 4 of us, and there are 4 races.
Races.
We could race to see who eats theirs fastest.
No, that would be collective.
We need questions quick.
Why would we race to see? Why can't we just enjoy them? Oh, favorite hymn or favorite secular song?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Favorite secular song would be 41 by the Dave Matthews.
We didn't start the fire.
That's the one you always play.
Is that 41? I don't know what that song is. How's it go? Sing it to us.
Yeah, sing it to us.
I don't know.
What's your favorite song, though?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. Favorite song?
Mine is O Day of Peace. O Day of Peace that dimly shines. Yeah, that's a great one.
My favorite. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say my favorite hymn is "Lord Jesus Christ Abide with Us."
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
That's a solid one.
My favorite hymn is "All Creatures of Our God and King."
That's a good one.
Ooh,
That's
I
a
like
good
that
one.
one.
Francis.
Yeah, I love that song. David Crowder did a really good version I used to like.
My favorite one is Crowned with Many Crowns.
You know how, in order for him to be crowned, his hair had to be at least well kept and cut,
Not necessarily.
just so the crown could be crowned.
Let's see. Favorite song? Now I'm trying to think. There's like a song I always listen to, but
What's the question? What's the present here?
I'm trying to
Favorite secular song?
It's like philosophers. It's by genre.
And I mean the album Continuum by John Mayer is my favorite album. It's when he kind of got into a blues jazz thing. I love that album. Vultures on that album might be my favorite song. Yeah.
This is an interesting question here. I've heard of the angels receiving morning and evening knowledge, but don't understand it. Can you further elaborate? I've never heard of that. I don't know what the distinction is. Angels have perfect intellect. So, like our intellect kind of grows over time as we learn things. The angels know everything in an instant. And so that's why, like, when Satan rejects God, he rejects God for all eternity because he does it in the full angelic intellect. And so it can't be undone. There's no movement of time for them. It's eternal and it's now. So I don't know that we could really distinguish between like a type of knowledge that the angelic intellect knows.
Yeah. I mean, this would just be speculation, but the different ranks or choirs of angels perhaps have greater or lesser degrees of intellect and power, but
Yeah.
that's,
Somebody literally dropped off these begonias
Oh, you know what
Begonias.
type of plant it is.
No, I know, like an angel, like an angelic intellect. That is a begonia and a dove bar, and I have no idea who did that.
So if you're out there, thanks.
Would you like some chocolate?
I would take a piece of chocolate.
I'm really full. I've had a lot of Reese's.
How much did you eat?
I thought you were watching.
I wasn't watching that carefully. I had to watch the road.
How do you feel about priests living in community with each other rather than alone at a parish?
All for it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here for the last 8 weeks. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Throughout
Throughout the history of the church. Well, no, I'm eating chocolate. Hold on.
yeah, dude.
Should have given him
I
chocolate.
got excited. Throughout various phases of the church's life, priests have lived alone and priests have lived in community. The majority of time, actually, priests have lived in community. Some of the more famous examples of that are St. Augustine, when he was made Bishop of Hippo. He gathered all of the clergy that were inside the city and had them live together. The clergy that were outside in the sort of more country areas had to live on their own. Ambrose did this in Milan. So did Charles Borromeo.
They were pretty holy guys.
Pretty holy guys. And then there's various different examples of it. So, who knows what the future holds. And I think that the church is constantly kind of moving through different phases. And so, yeah, we'll see. I'm for it.
Can we receive communion by mouth?
I'm assuming that means on the tongue.
Yes.
Right.
We'll have a distinct line for that.
A distinct line.
Is it my dad?
Is Coriesu going to resume physically soon?
Who's asking this question?
John Hickey.
John Hickey. John Hickey, I always invite you online to the Zoom meetings. You never show up. So I don't think you want to be a part of it.
Wow, called out.
Well,
So,
he asked if it would be physically though.
Oh, physically?
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to do that. That's Anne Tree. She's the one that's in charge of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because currently what we're able to do is have adoration as long as we follow the social distancing guidelines.
after the 23rd and 24th, we can resume adoration publicly and confessions as well. Regularly scheduled confessions.
Great questions.
Did we respond? Nope.
Questions coming in here?
Father Andrew, could you do an impression of Ronald Reagan?
No.
I was going to ask that question.
Well, Brian asked a question.
Okay, I thought.
We never said that we could not ask questions.
How's that chocolate taste?
No new taxes.
Read my lips.
That was Bush.
Oh, dang it.
Come on. Well, this was a joyous day because it was Brian's last final.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Brian is now free from the shackles of
Relax! Relax!
institutional education until August.
So, for the last 5 days, everything was horrible and evil and dreadful
I don't think
in
it was
Brian's
that bad.
world.
I need some backup here.
You're not going to get it from any of us.
I don't think it was that bad. I don't
Thank
know.
you.
There was a mood
Oh,
It was
He was there.
strongest last Friday.
because of some news from
Okay, that was pretty bad.
what
That was
news?
pretty bad.
I was
The assignments right at the end.
What was that?
You had to do like 4 more hours of lectures.
He's trying to get you to relive your pain.
yeah.
But you survived, man.
Yeah, we're on the other side.
Yeah,
Things
that's
are good.
so now he's pointing and laughing at me because I still.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
What does it kill you?
5
It makes
weeks
you
of
stronger.
Okay, you know who said that? Nietzsche.
So Brian was not happy for the last 4 days.
I don't think that's true. I felt like I was in a pretty decent mood last night.
No.
All right.
Well, it wasn't
But
your
today,
birthday,
all of a sudden today,
well, the sun's shining,
The
birds are
sun-
singing.
yeah.
It was great, and then he fell on his bike, and that kind of put a
Yeah.
little dent in the
how is
the
your
joy of the day.
how's your hand? How's your knee? Hurt?
Yeah.
That'll teach you not to run.
Not to run.
That's the only Parents are always
No, I mean, I was riding a new mountain bike, Father Drew Curry's, and it got a little
too
little
aggressive.
ambitious, shall we say. But thankfully, the damage, considering what happened, was minimal.
So you hit a curb, and the tire didn't go over the curb,
Correct.
but you went over the handlebars?
I went to the side. I didn't
Okay.
go over the handlebars. Yeah, but really, all things considered, the damage is pretty.
Father Drew was kind of funny in how he was insisting that you just clean up.
Yeah.
Was he worried about your blood getting on his
I don't-
bike or
I
something
don't
like
think
that?
so. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
He almost died, man.
It's more
Right.
like the bruise.
We have 2 questions coming in. One, a little heavy hitter here.
Okay.
Is it possible to believe in both creation and certain aspects of evolution?
Who's that from?
Erica Stover.
I just read a sentence on this today in not the new book.
Oh,
Father Smith instructs Jackson
yes.
by Archbishop Francis Knoll.
Yeah, I mean,
John Francis Knoll.
essentially, those two things answer two different questions. So creation talks about how did stuff come from nothing, and God created. Evolution talks about how stuff has changed over time. So they're really two different questions. And the church actually allows certain aspects of evolution to be posited, but it is a theory. So yeah, two different questions.
Yeah. I would say, believing the truth of the creation story, namely that God created the world, that he infused an immortal soul into humanity, those things are non-negotiable in the sense of like, yes, God created the world, he
God
infused the
created
soul,
souls.
he intentionally created these things to work this way. How he did that, evolution is the answer of how, and we don't have like a religious sort of certitude over the answer of exactly how. So believing or positing certain aspects of the theory of evolution are perfectly that don't deny God is the sort of operator of that process. It's not a conflict.
Yeah, whatever is true is what the church believes.
What does Archbishop John Francis Knoll have to say on that?
So I was just given this book. I don't know if you can see it very well. Father Smith instructs Jackson.
Further down.
Father Smith instructs Jackson by John Francis Knoll.
Doesn't be in front of us.
John Francis Knoll was Archbishop Knoll of our diocese. Which bishop was he, though?
He was the 5th bishop of this
Bishop.
diocese.
And as it turns out, our business manager, that is great. Our business manager, Rhonda Knoll, her husband is the grandnephew of Archbishop Francis Knoll. So they have a great love, devotion to him. So he wrote this book called Father Smith Instructs Jackson. And the idea is it's this dialogue between a fictional priest, Father Smith, and this man named Jackson comes to him and is interested in becoming Catholic and wants to receive instruction in the faith. So it's kind of this back and forth Q&A where Father Smith explains the what?
Just whisper it into your.
What did he say?
I have to say it out loud.
No, you don't.
What did he say?
He said the title of if you did it was.
Oh, it'd be Father Budzinski berates
Jackson.
Jackson. What? What do you want? Oh, your question. Okay.
Angry Polish priest berates Jackson.
So Jackson says to Father Smith, "May I ask you how you would answer the believers in evolution?" And Father Smith says, "If they ever actually prove the theory that everything material in the universe, including plants and animals, evolved by slow processes from original atoms or gases, the church would not oppose them. But even that original element must have been created. Every effect must have a cause. The first thing must have been produced from nothing, which only a God could accomplish." And then you were talking about the soul, the very next thing that Jackson asks about. "You imply that the human soul could not be accounted for by evolution." Father Smith says, "Certainly it could not. Since every effect must also have an adequate cause, the soul of man, whose nature is altogether spiritual, could not evolve from an animal or anything material. A spirit could be produced only by the Supreme Spirit, God." What do you think of that?
That's Thomas Aquinas revisited.
Yeah. This is yeah.
Well, there you go.
This is
That's
Thomas
exactly-
Aquinas for dummies.
Yeah.
This is it's actually I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I like the answer. It's straightforward. I just think it's always important to keep in mind that in order to believe, to posit with certitude theory, that's not in respect of what a theory actually is, because it's not claiming to be totally and objectively true. It's a theory of which a body of evidence is amounting, so it's maybe more probable, but it's always good to actually think philosophically about these problems too.
Ava Lawler says, "Woohoo! OSV represent." Ava works for OSV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these OSV put out a series of classic books. This one, Dialogue by St. Catherine of Siena, Interior Castle by St. Teresa of Avila, and they all have these wonderful bindings. You put a book with a nice binding on it like this, I'm a sucker. I'll buy it.
I love it when publishers make the same binding. Like someone somewhere in Ignatius Press decided like 40
Right.
years ago
Yes,
that every book was going to look the same.
it has that little square.
So like when I have just a shelf of the Ignatius Press books and they all just match. It's really beautiful. Huge fan of when that happens. The next question was,
Can you put it on the screen?
how much longer do you, Brian, have before graduation?
2 years now, 2 academic years. So
Do it.
May of 2022, there will be much rejoicing.
Yes, we're classmates, so we'll enjoy that joy together. Okay, my husband and I are both over 65, and he is at high risk while I am not. Should we both not attend Mass? I was a little confused by the guidelines.
The state of Indiana recommends that everyone over 65, continue to watch the liturgies online. I'm not in a position, nor is actually the state, to forbid anyone over 65 from going. But the reality is, statistically, like the overwhelming majority of deaths that are happening by way of COVID-19 are people over 65.
And there is a dispensation until at least August 15th. So the obligation to attend Mass in person
Right.
doesn't bind you. So you are free to stay home if you think that is most prudent.
I'm late to the Teresa Jerry says I'm late to the party tonight, but are you inviting parishioners to come and plant flowers?
Yes, because this weekend was to have been, it traditionally is what we call Planting Day, the weekend after Mother's Day. Since we've not had everybody around, we haven't been talking about it. But by all means, tell you what, if you've got flowers and you want to plant them on the campus, you just go ahead and pick whatever spot you want, and we'll just do it that way.
Unless you see that someone else just planted flowers.
Then you just rip those things out, throw them away, and put your better flowers in their place.
John
Angry
Higbee,
Polish priest.
prayers for you tomorrow. Good luck with your interview.
What interview do you have, John?
Does it say?
No.
Does not say.
It's the interview?
We'll see if he has anything to say about it.
Huh.
100 messages, great.
What if my priest tells me I can't receive communion by the tongue in Fort Wayne, South Bend Diocese? I think it's better that if the priest is making that recommendation, I think it's better that we cooperate with that rather than trying to argue from the point of what, our rights may or may not be. I don't know. I'm just a big conflict avoider. So if I were in your shoes and the priest said, all right, hands only, I'd probably go, okay, guess that's the way it is. For the same reason, I'm a conflict avoider. I'm letting people receive however they want to receive come Sunday. Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Right.
Oh. Ooh. Sweetwater. You're going to become a musician, it sounds like.
There's like 100 different things one could do at Sweetwater.
Be a bass player, a drum player.
I've never been there.
Really?
No.
Oh, you should go.
Yeah, I heard.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, but hers is a slide there.
Do they have a concession?
Yeah, for
Refreshment food?
Yeah,
Is it good food?
I've never
I think it's
been
like
there.
for the employees, but I think
No, they got a food court.
Oh, you can go.
A lot of people go there to work when obviously COVID wasn't going on, people would just go and they got plenty of kind of free workspace. Yeah.
Really?
You know what I used to do when I was in radio sales during March Madness? I would take all of my files and go to the local sports bar. And any of my clients that wanted to have a meeting that day, I met at the sports bar, so they were forced to watch March Madness. And then I was captain of the space shuttle, and I flew to Mars.
Sorry, I was trying to find
Oh, okay, yeah, go right ahead.
He's being a moderator, okay?
You're supposed to talk to the people, not me.
Yeah, so I did all those things I just said.
Thank you, Mark, for your job.
Yeah, somebody said they'll probably receive the blessing. Yeah, if you want to come forward and not receive communion but receive a blessing instead, you can do that. If you want to remain in your pew, you can do that. If you want to continue to watch the masses via live stream, you can do that.
Yeah. We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Trace
Let's
Minutos.
get some good last minute
Yeah,
questions.
who's
here.
going to be the MJ in the finals right now?
Oh.
He's making all these MJ references because we've been watching.
If you haven't watched The
Dance.
Last Dance, definitely should.
Watch the censored.
We were talking about kind of our roles in this house.
Oh, who's who?
Yeah, who's who. So,
Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
well,
Go ahead.
we only came up with one.
What's that?
The mastermind. You
built the engine that could.
Tony Kukoc. He picked him.
When did you have this conversation?
Earlier.
While we were setting up your shrine. Oh man.
Yeah, I was gonna buy you some dinner. Nope, not happening now.
Aw. That's terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We did it. Mission accomplished.
Well, this is our final time as you know it, like this crew.
yeah.
Um,
So is Father Drew coming too for Wednesday nights, or am I just supposed to come over?
Whatever. I don't know. If he comes, fine. If not, I don't care.
We're a charity in Lumberville. None of us are.
Who are you talking about?
Father Drew.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
If you guys know a Father Drew,
That's my summer pastor, Brian.
oh, well, you'll have to introduce me sometime.
All right. He borrowed his bike and crashed it today.
Oh, that guy.
You broke it, right?
Yeah.
Is the bike okay?
Aren't you worried about me?
No.
No, the bike's fine.
All right.
All right, friends.
Well,
Well, peace and blessings to all.
it's been fun.
Yeah, be on the lookout for the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. We don't
what's
know
it
what
about?
form that'll take. In the
It is
future.
about the Ascension, and we actually, of all the ones we've done, I think it's the one we got kind of most deep
Deep,
into the
yeah.
theology.
Yeah.
Mm.
Brace yourselves.
So yeah, put on your boots and
We
get
did
down to the
some
weeds.
speculative theology there. That's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks all, and
Been
Yeah.
a pleasure.
been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, peace and blessings, one and all.
Cheers.
I
See you all later.
was filmed in front of a live.